In this video, I'll show you how I evaluate and integrate skies in Photoshop for architectural visualization. If we want the sky layer to be the correct place, you can just enable it there, and then you can drag drop it under the render like that. And then we have the skies here. This layer we can just delete. If we try the first sky, for example, we can try this sky. That's the first thing. You can see this sky is actually not that bad. The first thing I look at in a sky is obviously the direction of the light. Where does the light come from? And this sky is actually quite hard to see where the light comes from. I think it comes from behind to the left, like that. So we have to flip this. And to flip a object, you go to Edit, and then you go to Transform, and then flip horizontally. Then you can see the light is coming a little bit from behind here and then into the sky with a little bit of shadow there and there. So the light in the scene is obviously from the right to the left. And then you zoom out. So you hold Z and then Alt, zoom out, and then V to get the move tool. And then you can move the sky around. Again, you can also use Control plus to zoom in and Control minus to zoom out. That's also another way to navigate. But here you can see, let's try to more or less find a placement for this sky. I think I like to rotate the sky also a little bit. So transform and then rotate. And then you can see you have this handle where you can rotate the picture a little bit. Again, you can go into the middle and then you can drag drop it again like that, for example. And then you can see you can kind of get a picture in place like that. If you're satisfied, you just press enter and then you have a sky here. Oftentimes when I work and trying to place and scale skies and textures and branches and trees and so forth, I have different solutions ready here, and then I rate them as I go along to find the best one. For example, here, this sky, I don't think that's very good. So I maybe call it 003. That's a bad rate, where 001 could be good, but you can find your own rating system. If you have a long list of iterations, it's actually quite nice to name the iterations over here to get a way to structure your rating as you work. The reason why I don't rate this sky very high is because I think the sky more or less is the same tonality or the same contrast as the facade there. So you cannot see where the facade stops and where sky starts here. And that's a typical problem with the light side of the facade, where over here it's very readable. You can see there's a clear darker facade in shadow and then the clear blue sky behind. So that's very easy to read. There's a big contrast. There is a relatively big difference in tonality between the sky and the facade, and also in the color contrast. A very deep, quite saturated blue that is a complementary contrast to the red leaves there, which is always beautiful. But there is also a stark contrast to the more desaturated kind of yellow or brownish facade there. So that contrast is very interesting, but it's not that great here. So that's, for me at least, quite low rating for this sky. So let's try another one. We can close this so we work with only one sky. Again, I use F to toggle out to full screen, and then I use C to get the zoom tool, and then Alt to zoom out. I oftentimes use quite distant zoom to get the feel of the sky and the direction and the scale and so forth correct. So I shift to the move tool, just press V, and then I press the tab. The tab tool brings down the menus again. Even if you're in the mode where you have the black screen only, you can always press the tab and then you get the menus. So again, I hold space and then I can pan. I can Control plus to zoom and Control minus to zoom out. That's the way I navigate. So for example, this sky here, you can see that the light is clearly coming from the right hand side, and then there's a darker shadow side on the left side. So that fits the picture where the sun is from the right hand side into the left hand side of the picture, where you can see this facade is obviously lit. Also, you can see that it's a quite low sun because the shadows are long, and you can see the trees from over here cast shadows onto the facade, and this tree here creates shadows there. So if you have a clear blue sky on a picture like this, the natural perception is that it's not harmonizing or the same as these long shadows. And for example, also discipline like skies is actually not that easy. You can see these skies are, I would say, lit a little bit too much on the upside here. If we zoom in a little bit here, you can see that it is side lit, these skies, but there's also a lot of light on the top of the skies. For example, here you can see it very clearly here. So this is not a very low sun, this. Also because the colors are very bright and very saturated. Also see it on this cloud here. This is typically a high sun, a midday sun, not a low sun like this. So that's all things that you think about when you are integrating both obviously people textures, but also sky, because ultimately you want your viewer to perceive the picture as realistic. And it's all these small things that just adds up to make a visualization not work. And you cannot always put your finger on what it is. You just see a picture and then you say it's not realistic or it's not good this. And you cannot pinpoint exactly what it is, but it's many small things. Maybe these textures here for these people doesn't match. They are very good and they are very good here because they are in shadow and so forth. But maybe some of these textures isn't good, and then you just have a perception that something is off. And the sky element is some of the perceptions that are the worst for that. If you go up here in the edit, there's a function called free transform. If you just click on that, you can see there's a option to both move the picture, to rotate the picture, and to scale the picture. And you can even, if you hold down Control, you can kind of warp the picture also. That's maybe not so easy for you to see there, but you can see I really warped the picture. So that's called free transform. And free transform, you just click escape and then you have the sky again. Free transform you can access by clicking Control T and then you have the free transform. That's also a shortcut I use all the time. So for example, this sky here, I think maybe also there is something around the clouds is a little bit too small. I think I don't like these very distracting small clouds because they draw a lot of attention to the sky, and that's not necessarily what you want in a architectural visualization because it's obviously about the architecture. So you want a sky that are realistic, that are happy, that are contrasted in colors, that enable the building. For example, here you can see the contrast between the clear blue sky and the facade. Even in sun here is very clear. It's also clear there. So that could be an argument for a good placement there. So there goes quite a lot of thinking into skies and backgrounds. But obviously in this section, it's about how we can transform. And I think we have to scale this up a bit so we don't get distracted by these very small clouds. Maybe it's a bit too much this. So I would say maybe something like this could maybe work. Again, what I'm looking at is this corner up here. How could I make this corner very easy to read? You can see there's also a dark shadow in the sky there. So I get the contrast to the facade. So that's maybe not a bad placement, something like this. But again, I don't think this sky is very good. I think it's very distracting with these sky elements over the facade there. You want the facade to read very, very clearly and very simple. So I would rate this sky very low also, maybe a 3. Let's try this one. Let's zoom out. Let's move it around a little bit. You can see here, if we go into this layer here and then you hold down Alt and then just press the little eye icon there, then you get the sky only. You isolate the sky. And that's maybe an advantage here because you can evaluate the sky a little bit easier. As you can see here, we have a clear source from the right to the left, and it's a very, very low sun also. Relatively low, so that should fit our picture very well. If we press Alt and then the eye again, you come back and then you have not isolated the sky again, and we're back in the main view. So you can see here, this is maybe not that bad. It should be a little bit more realistic, this sky. But again, I try to find a sky that are contrasted with the facade. Now this is very, very good, but here is not that good. So that's maybe not the perfect spot. And as you can see here, the perception of the sky here, we obviously have to fix this, but the perception of the sky here is kind of like very dystopian, or yeah, it's not happy. It's very, maybe it's just before a thunderstorm or something like that. And you can make pictures with a lot of atmosphere and build a lot of mood into them. But in a typical school picture like this, you don't want these, just before thunder kind of pictures. You want a school picture that don't frighten the children, obviously, that want to go to this school. So This sky is good in a technical sense because it's a very clearly read of the facade there, but it's maybe a little bit dark for this picture. And it's kind of a sky just before storm or something like that, just before rain. This is maybe better. That's a very happy sky. Again, I just want to make this part up here readable. And so we want to scale this a little bit more, I think. Again, you can see here, I just drag it and then I scale it up because I have the free transform, and then I can rotate it a little bit here. Something like this. This is maybe the best sky so far, so 002. And let's try the last one. Okay, this is also a sky. If we isolate that, you can see it's relatively low sun. Not that much on top of these. It's more side light here and then clear from right to left sun. So that's maybe an okay sky. Let's see if we can find a good placement. Again, I use Control T for the free transform, and then I can rotate it like that, and I can scale it like this, and I can even Control hold these corners to warp it. Oftentimes you don't want to warp the sky too much. Maybe something like this isn't too bad. See, I don't want this little distracting thing on this facade there. I want it to not be visible, so something like this. This is a dynamic sky, but it's also a happy sky. And so I think this works very well already. You can see the contrast here is great. It is realistic with a low right-hand side sun going to the left. I like the bright blue colors in complementary contrast to the red leaves. I like that this facade over here is clearly readable in contrast and in tonality from the background there. And also here is very, very readable. And so I think this is a very good sky for this picture here. It's maybe a little bit too dynamic because it steals a little too much attention, but we can try in a later section to change that. If you found this video useful, the full course is available at Cadman.dk. Photoshop for Architects Basic. Link is in the description.